Hello everybody. This week's video is just going to be a quick tip about a way that you might use to approach learning a small passage of music. Like, let's say you're working on a song and you have kind of the song overall is going well, but there's like a few measures that you're struggling with. This would be a way that you might approach those few measures. So first thing you want to do is break that passage down to the bare minimum. This goes for everyone, by the way, winds and percussion. It'll be like a different bare minimum for whatever you're playing, but same idea. Break it down to the bare minimum notes and rhythms. Or if you're like just on snare or bass, then it's just gonna be rhythms. And see if you can play it. So that means like if you're a wind player, take out articulation, slur everything, right? Take out any rolls if you're a percussionist, trills, grace notes, literally anything that isn't dynamics or accents, like stuff like that. Take it all out. If it's not just the basic notes and rhythms, don't do it. And if you can play the music like that, then great. You know that it's one of those extra elements. If you can't play it like that, then you know that that's something you need to work on, right? So let's say it's a crazy fast passage. You break it down, you slur every note, and you're still stumbling over it. That tells me that you need to either check your fingerings and notes or check your rhythms and make sure you know how they're supposed to fall. But let's say you slur everything and it goes great. We'll start adding things back in, and basically you add in one element of the music until you hit the point where you can't play it, and then now you know that that's the element, like whatever you just added is what's causing the problems, right? And it might be more than one. So let's say you break everything down, you don't slur, or I mean you just slur and you only play notes and rhythms, and then you start tonguing again, and now you have issues. Well, now you know that you need to work on lining up your articulation with your fingers, right? Or maybe you add in articulations and you're still good to go, and now you try adding in some accents, and then that's what throws you off. You need to work on figuring out where those accents line up and how they should sound with the rhythm, right? Or like, you know, snares aren't pitched, they wouldn't be slurring, but let's say there's a pattern that has a bunch of rolls and flams in it. Take out the rolls and take out the flams. Maybe it's quarter, quarter, half, and it would really be flam, flam, and then a half no roll. Can you just play quarter, quarter, half? If you can't, then you need to figure out those rhythms, right? Most likely you can. Well, if you can, add back in one part of that. Play quarter, quarter, roll, or flam, flam, half, you know, add one element back in. And if you suddenly can't play it anymore, well, whatever you just added is the thing that's tripping you up, right? Or maybe you add in the flams, but not the roll, and it goes great. And now you add in the roll, and now you can't play it. Well, now you know it was the roll that was throwing you off. Or maybe when you put it all together, you suddenly start messing up again. First of all, then whatever the last element you added would be the thing that messed you up. But also sometimes you slow it down even further. Sometimes it's hard to acknowledge that we need to go slower, okay? Like really slow, and that's okay, because at the end of the day, going super slow is how you go super pro. But anyways, so I guess just this week's tip in general is like, that's kind of a method to learn a difficult passage. If you've kind of exhausted some of your options and you don't know how to learn it, break it down to the absolute bare minimum. Take everything out that isn't the basics. And then add things back in until you figure out what's messing you up. And this doesn't necessarily fix that thing for you. Like, you may add back in, you know, a trill or a roll or something, and now that's what's messing you up. It's not fixed, right? But at least now you have the answer. You know exactly what is causing your issues, right? And you know, like, okay, I need to work on my rolls, or maybe I'm not counting through my rolls, or maybe when I add in articulations, things aren't lining up correctly. Whatever it is, it doesn't, this tool doesn't necessarily fix the problem for you. You would still need to then practice, but it tells you what specifically to practice, right? It tells you, you know, these notes and rhythms. What you don't know is how to put them in an accent pattern and how to count through that correctly, or how to do whatever, you know what I mean? So basically, like, this is just a tool that you can use to establish whatever specific element or elements are tripping you up, right? You might add in flams and mess up, and then you fix your flams, and then you add in rolls and you mess up again. That just means they both needed to work. That's okay. But it'll at least give you some answers as to what exactly like needs work, I guess. So anyways, yeah, maybe use that if you're working on a piece of music, you know, throughout these next few weeks and throughout the summer, and you can't get a certain section. Try breaking it down to the absolute bare minimum and see if that kind of can at least help you clarify what you need help with. So anyways, yeah, hope that's helpful. I'll probably do a pretty similar video with a different tip next week. So anyways, yeah, happy practicing.